Hello, everybody, and happy great conjunction.
Great conjunction when two generational planets come together without colliding, right?
So this is a very special episode for us because we've really been anticipating this holiday season as well as the great conjunction. So for your listening pleasure, we are going to open up this bottle of champagne. So listen on.
Oh!
And it exploded. It hit the ceiling.
Well, you know what? The planets didn't explode,
That's good.
but the bottle, well, it's still intact. Gluck, gluck.
Beautiful. Cheers. That's a good one. Okay, that sounds great.
What's the problem there? I guess it's two big planets aren't like crystal glasses.
So I hope you all enjoyed our champagne, and we welcome you if you do drink alcohol. This is not our, we're not telling everyone to go and drink. It's not necessarily the healthiest, but it is also fun, especially when you're celebrating.
But at the 126th episode is the first time we've ever had a cocktail of any such
on the podcast.
On the podcast, before or after, actually.
Okay, so let's get into our episode, everybody. It is going now. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the putt-putt poet herself, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
Hi.
It is episode 126 here in the Evanston Sanctuary, December 21st, 2020. And we are celebrating the great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. So let's move right into it. In the transits, we have Monday, December 21st, Sun ingress Capricorn.
The winter solstice.
Same day, Jupiter conjunct Saturn.
They meet up now. Now what?
Wednesday, December 23rd, Mars square Pluto.
Is your power intact?
Friday, December 25th, Mercury trine Uranus.
Write these down.
And Sunday, December 27th, Sun trine Uranus.
New good things.
Then in Talisman time, Sandy has finished up so many talismans. We won't even have time to tell you all about them. And a very special upcoming to accumulate many goods from many people. Then on the horizon, we've completed a whole lot of things. So we are going to start creating for the new year.
Hence the champagne toast.
Yes. And in our house, Sandy and I are going to pay homage to the last few days and the occurrences that happen. So stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
Here, where the night is totally clear and your heart is fierce, and so you finally know you control where you go.
All right, happy great conjunction. Happy winter solstice, everybody. It is me, Alex, and the putt-putt poet herself.
I do know where you got that.
Yes. Do you want to share the story?
Well, we just concluded, our second talisman making seminar or webinar this morning. We did one Saturday. We did one today. Obviously, this is Sunday night.
Yes.
Just hours before we're going to go live with this podcast. And we got everybody on the Zoom call, and I had given them up to 4 or 5 pages of information based on the aspects that Jupiter and Saturn make to their natal chart and given them some heads up. I also went on live and put their chart up and talked about 5 to 6 minutes on everybody that was had joined. Mm-hmm. And one of the women I had suggested work her year like a putt-putt.
A putt-putt course?
Yes. Little tiny victories that all need different strategies to get the final scorecard of a win.
Yeah.
And so that's where I know, I was getting a lot of insights on everybody that I was writing for on Saturday and Sunday. And that was a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So hence...
We did good. This is our celebration tonight. So...
this actually is my Christmas.
This
and
is
you,
our Christmas.
Because you're heading out.
Yeah. For the first time. Okay. So this is such a unique episode for us. So I don't even know where to begin, but how about we start with going direct like normal? So I had 2 really wonderful emails that I received because I send out a personal email to everyone who is a first customer or a returning customer. So
sounds like everybody.
No, like their first and second order. How about that?
Okay.
And it just says, "Hey, thank you so much. It really means the world to me that you chose to help support and
me."
Yes. But the email's coming from me. So anyway, I got some feedback on these emails. So this is my going direct, I guess.
Should I read it to you?
No, I'll read it. It says, "Hi, Alexandra. Thank you for your warm welcome. So many businesses forget that personal touch. I look forward to the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction Talisman ceremony happening on Saturday. This will be my first live interaction with your mom and your company. A friend gifted me with an intention mala necklace, and I'm glad she did, since that was my first introduction into your company. I'm really looking forward to Saturday, and thank you for everything you, your mom, and your company are doing for the world."
Ooh, I want to cry.
Yes, Molly C. from Colorado.
Oh my gosh, Molly.
Yeah. Molly had a really wonderful webinar. We got a beautifully written email on top of this. So I'm going to save that one for maybe next week or the next week after that.
And literally, I have to respond. I saw it, but busy doesn't let pause happen.
Right. I also got a second email. It says, "Thank you, Alexandra. I love seeing the care and pride that you put into your work and services. It's all top-notch experience. So excited for this weekend, aka the Jupiter-Sagittarius conjunction webinar. Sabina from Arizona." So shout out to Sabina.
My soul sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that concludes going direct. But really, as we're coming up to the end of the year, I really want to thank every single person that has supported us, even with a simple email just like this. This is the way that we sustain. This is the way that we continue on. And both of us, me and my mom, are so grateful to have you listening into the podcast, purchasing talismans, coming to our community check-ins, our Facebook Lives, our webinars, our talisman making ceremonies, retreats. What else do we do? Oh, readings. Yes. So, it's really wonderful. We love what we do, and I think that shines through. I think that passion and that drive shines through, and that's what keeps our community so together and so cool.
It makes me think that they feel our Piscean energy of a flow of ease, of creativity. You can take it or leave it. We're not throwing it in your face. Right. We live by these rules, you and I, and we welcome everybody.
Yes.
And it's simple and it's easy.
Everyone who's willing.
Yeah, there are no closed doors and there's no back door where, you come, welcome, come join and stay.
Yes. So let's get into it. In the transits, this is like the week. And if you have not seen the CWS, which is the Chatting with the Stars webinar on the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, I highly recommend it. It is $20 or $25. You get to decide if you want a personal chart. And or if you want to take the next level up and get a talisman that was made during the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, sign up for that talisman ceremony, and you will receive your talisman, and you'll also get a recording of what occurred during that time.
So let's back up on that. The talisman making webinar is over. The two that we did Saturday, Sunday, they're over. Mm-hmm. However, we recorded the first part of each one, and I made extra beads. Mm-hmm. Because it is such a rare conjunction.
Talk about
and is
800-year rare.
Is this the Star of Bethlehem? You'll find out in that webinar. But
right.
There's extra beads, and we haven't put it up on the website yet. It will go soon.
Yes.
So watch that. I don't think it's going up tonight for tomorrow morning. Hence the champagne pop.
We'll see. I think it will. It's going to be a quick and easy way for me to add it to the website. So I hope to have that all for you.
Yeah, because what you do get, even though the webinar is past, you get the recording, you get the talisman, you get me writing
a
3-4 page kind of PDF document that you put together for me
with dates and a focus, what to focus on during that time. Because when we talk about Jupiter and Saturn, they're kind of opposing forces, but they need each other. Mm-hmm. You know, where can we expand? And I loved that imagery of pick a racehorse or a race car, and you're going fast. You're going, to so many places with just that. But would you ever want to get in one or get on top of a racehorse without reins or without a brake? No. Mm-hmm. That's what Saturn is to Jupiter. So these are really important things, because we can vision all we want, but unless we start using those building blocks to get there, it's not going to come to fruition. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So anyway, that was basically the discussion that we had during that webinar. That ceremony was wonderful. We would love to have you there. Even if it is a recording, jump into it and really hold that space, because it's still available.
Yeah. In fact, while we sit here, I just got my Star Walk app sent me a message. Jupiter and Saturn appear the closest since 1623. Don't miss the once-in-a-lifetime astronomy highlight.
It's so true. And
I just got this.
I've never, in, I guess, all the time that we've been doing this, people saying, oh my gosh, I'm sure you're so busy with these emails. So, just so you know, like, you don't have to get back to me right away because the conjunction's here. And it was just almost like I know you're busy. It's the holidays, because that's what everyone knows. It was like, you're busy. The conjunction is here. And I was like, what? Like, we're our and
tribe.
I also think that the media is helping so much at the same time. Everyone's talking about, is this the Star of Bethlehem? When was the last time that this occurred? And it's so cool. And
Can I just give a snap?
A little
shot?
Snap.
Because the question, when did these two occur last? Mm-hmm. So, because it's so rare, on Tuesday, the 21st, so if you're listening to this as soon as this recording comes out on Monday, tomorrow.
Tuesday the 22nd.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Tuesday the 22nd. These two planets get as close in proximity from us looking from the Earth.
Our perspective, yes.
They can never get super close, because one takes 29 years to go around, who's further out in the solar system, and Jupiter is closer to us. It takes 12 years to go around us, the Earth. But as far as our trajectory, they're the closest by a thin side of a dime. And actually, we just took pictures. We went up on with our telescope, and can we put that picture?
Yeah.
Can we put that picture on the? Because I want to
Yeah,
follow.
of
Like,
course.
it was too hazy the other night. I couldn't take a picture, and by the time I caught it on the telescope, it was gone for the picture. And that's the whole mystery of telescoping.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yeah,
I'm
I
going to do
mean,
one
if
tomorrow
anyone's
night.
out there that knows what it's like to calibrate a telescope, I hear ya.
Sheila, I'm going to get to Alexander. But I want to capture a picture tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, at least for a period of time, and watch and share that with you, and watch Jupiter get so close to Saturn and passes Saturn up.
Mm-hmm.
And one last thing, which is really what I was going for.
Okay. I'm going to guess. Was it the ecliptic plane?
No.
Oh.
It's the closest in 400 years. Now, the thing we can't really talk about 400 years ago, like this app just said 1623, 400 years ago, minus 3 years, is the fact that it was so close to the sun, we couldn't see it. It was happening, and we just had to trust that it was happening. However, 400 years before that, so in 1223 or 1226, they got that close, and the sun was far enough away that you could see it once the sun went down or the sun came up. And we can see that right now, that if you watch the night sky, please, the sun goes down. For us in Chicago, it's like 4:30 p.m. As soon as the sun goes down, start looking up in the sky westward, and just kind of where the sun just was, because this Jupiter and Saturn look like one star now. I looked 2 nights ago, there were 2 stars. You can see with your naked eye 2 stars. Get on the telescope. Yeah, there's 2. Right now, tonight, 1 star with your eye.
Right.
Telescope, 2 stars. And Jupiter's getting closer and closer.
And they are very close. And if you've looked into a telescope before, you know that once you're peering through that scope, it's not easy unless you have a very small magnification. It's not easy to see like a whole constellation. Like it's like illustrated in a book. No. You're seeing like one main star. And so when we are stargazing or we're planet gazing, it's so impossible to have like 2 planets in the same scope. And this is the first time ever that I've seen 2 planets in the same scope. So it's really exciting because for me, it's half the amount of work. I don't have to recalibrate, go find Jupiter, and then recalibrate, go find Saturn. Which
I must say, the webinar, our program this weekend, does show some of our video that we did capture this summer of Saturn, which is phenomenal. It's like, folks, this is not like astro.com. I mean, astronomy.com. It is your phone. We did that up on the deck. And then you went over to Jupiter and we saw the 4 moons.
I think I like Jupiter and the 4 moons. I was really excited about Saturn, but I just think that the brightness of Jupiter's moons are incredible. And when you see it close up, it's just the expanse between those
move,
moons.
They rotate.
And if
so
you
some
imagine, if you imagine how big Jupiter is, and then you could fit that tiny dot of Jupiter that you see in between these moons multiple times, these moons are far away from Jupiter. You know, you can just imagine. So
and they move.
It gets exciting. It gets exciting because it really expands your mind. You see this tiny little snippet of a planet and its moons, and your mind just is expanded.
Ooh, gives me chills.
So thanks, Jupiter, for that. So, okay. I think we are going to be shifting into our episode now, hopefully. But I hope that you all share the same excitement for at least this. I mean, we do get excited about, mundane astrology and what's going on daily, but this is
the biggest transit of our lives.
Yes. And we even joke that it sounds like a soap opera. Like, okay, Dark Shadow. All right. So moving on. Happy winter solstice, everybody. The sun ingresses Capricorn December 21st.
And this kind of, solstice, sun stands still. And it kind of gives you the sense of, okay, it's the dark of the night. It's the dark of the day. But this is the moment that the sun begins to return. And there's a sense of fulfillment or highlightedness that maybe we just don't look back. And you've heard me say that before. Don't be, or who's the myth? Orpheus, who looked back to make sure his wife was following him from Hades.
Oh, right. That's such a sad story.
And then all of a sudden she turns to dust. Because that's the one thing he wasn't supposed to do.
Right.
And he did it.
Right. How many times does that happen, even in our
don't look
human
back, look forward. Because, folks, one thing that we talk about a lot is it's not going back together like you've ever known. Done over. Give it praise, give it adulation, give it respect, move on. Okay, enough about that. Let's keep going.
Okay. So let's move on. Should we go to Wednesday, December 23rd?
I hate leaving Jupiter and Saturn.
Well,
let's just get into this. This happens on Monday at 12:21 p.m. And they meet up. Now what? And here's the interesting part, that can you believe that the entire time that Jupiter got into Capricorn, December of 2019, where Saturn had already been for like 2 years. And Saturn will stay there about 2.5 to 3 years. 3 years. Jupiter will always stay for 1 year. They did not meet up. Jupiter did not cross Saturn the entire time in Capricorn. That Jupiter waited until Saturn moved into Aquarius, which is this Monday at 12:21.
And so what are you calling this one, this transit? The Great Conjunction.
I'm calling it the Grand Conjunction. I don't know. It just sounded a little bit like the Grand Hotel or the Grand Poopah.
Yeah.
Because great sounds like
the biggest day of our lives, located at the
and it's not even
Conjunction.
And inside the biggest transit of our lives is the biggest week of our lives. And I get more into that in the video, but I know you want me to move on right now, and I want to talk about it.
Which was really interesting because we had the winter solstice, and so we're basically talking a lot about this. But we have the winter solstice, which is happening in today. Capricorn.
But we had the total solar eclipse on Monday.
That happened in Sagittarius, which is Jupiter ruled. We had the winter solstice that's happening today, which is ruled by Saturn. We had the Great Conjunction, that's in Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. We have
Jupiter went into Aquarius, ruled by Saturn. Saturn moved into Aquarius, ruled by Saturn.
Right. And so this is just like a waterfall of events that leads to the final
airfall.
Right.
It's not water, right?
Oh,
I'm correcting. I'm being funny.
Air, yes.
It's air. Yeah.
A waterfall or an airfall. Yeah. There we go. Okay, got it.
We better move on before really this bottle's gone.
This champagne is going down quickly. So let's move on to the next day, Wednesday, December 23rd. You're calling this a challenge day, and this is Mars square Pluto. Tell us about that.
8:53 a.m. is your power intact? Now, Mars has been in a shadow, still is in his shadow. But this is the third of 3 passes that Mars has done to Pluto. And these are 2 major power forces. Mars is the spark, and Pluto is the dynamite. So it's the first time that they've met up since August.
That sounds like the champagne bottle that got opened.
I probably had the champagne since August too. That's funny. So it's the last of the power struggle. And we'll see what that means. Because I just got a message that it's the money, the powers at B in the White House approved a new stimulus package today. So it kind of is like this power surge is budding up and then freeing itself. This is the last of it. That's why I call it an astro challenging day. You really don't want to see 2 power forces at odds with each other.
Right.
So I check in, is your power intact?
And Friday, December 25th, Merry Christmas, everybody. And Mercury is trining Uranus.
Can we back up a little bit? So on the 24th, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, the moon, which I don't follow, I do follow the moon, but not on the podcast.
Right, we would be talking way too long in transit.
The moon moves into Taurus. And this is moon's exaltation.
Oh.
And so the moon is all about our feelings, our family, our home, our comfortability. And is there peace in the world yet? And hopefully you are beginning this in your home, in your family, in your personal space. And that just brings me this happiness on the 24th and 25th, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Now, what's interesting, sorry, Alex, I'm just really blowing our timeline
Let's
off,
go.
is moon was in Taurus on Thanksgiving, but not till about 9:30 at night. So basically, people are leaving, goodbye.
And that was the piece.
And that was the piece. But the sign before Taurus is Aries. So the moon was in Aries. The lead up, the night before, the day before Thanksgiving, the day of Thanksgiving dinner. So it had this, it kind of, if we reflect back, we might have experienced a little bit of this, where just so much going on and needing to talk and needing to eat, needing to drink, needing to do this. And then all of a sudden kind of like calming down.
Right.
But this is slightly different because the moon begins in Taurus on the 24th. So I kind of like this feeling of Christmas versus the feeling of the beginning of Thanksgiving.
Okay. So are we okay to move on to Friday?
Yes.
Okay. Friday, December 25th. Merry Christmas still. And Mercury trine Uranus.
1:05 a.m. Write these down. Mercury is the planet of communication. Trine is easy flow. Uranus is the planet of sudden insights, shocks, awes, breakdowns, but it's pleasant because it's a trine. So these are well-balanced, practical, yet surprising thoughts, suggestions, and opinions. So if you're with family, share yours and let them have space to share theirs. There is a bevy of beautiful information that you can gather and impact. Yeah, like give to others. What does that mean?
Yeah, an impact.
Okay.
To make an impact on somebody.
Yeah.
Or an impression.
Impression.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Whatever you say, Alex, you're the boss.
Okay. So Sunday, December 27th, Sun trine Uranus. This sounds exciting and exhilarating.
Can you see new good things? 9:25 p.m. It's just a day full of energy. It's like get out into the day somehow, some way. Get your snowshoes on, whatever that means for you. Get out. Get oxygenated. Mm-hmm. It's all in Earth, and we're gonna experience this. Uranus is in Earth. It's in Taurus. So watch for my next webinar that's coming out. My Talisman webinar that's coming out. You don't even know the date. I don't really right now know the date either, but I think it's February. It's in February.
Okay.
But we're just wrapping up so much this week that I can't.
And we'll talk
I can
about
only
that
look
on
at
the
this
horizon.
green bottle is all I can do.
Right.
But it just anytime the sun for the next, say, 6 years trines Uranus, which it will twice a year, will want to bring new good things, new surprises to earth-bound things. And so it's like a surprise that I can count on.
Great. We're excited. Or at least I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't speak on the behalf of all of our listeners.
Come on, tell us.
Yeah, are you excited for the new good things? Because I'm feeling an elevation of energy overall. And I think that like people are really believing that the vaccine is here. We're going to be coming out of the sequestering and the, groundedness that we've all been really experiencing and a lot of the fear-based stuff that we've been experiencing in order to come back out of our caves so that we can start building and,
Here's the cool thing about that, and I know you're holding that thought.
Go on.
We're different. Everybody's different. The soul elevated folks that are listening to this, and every one of you that are listening to this podcast are with us on this, or we're with you. How about that? Mm-hmm. We're in your car with you. We're moving. We're raising our frequency
and our goal for humanity. Because this time that we've taken to really take that step back and like a few steps back that we took this year, this is a really wonderful time to remind us of what is important. How many calls did you make to your loved ones? Probably more than usual. That's been a huge reminder for the year. And
less.
It's also never a bad thing for us to be reminded of our mortality,
No, I think it's really good. That's a good point there.
It is true. Like,
because
and this has been a big reminder.
I did. My annual perfection, blah, 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 has led to my 8th house, which is mortality. And how many supplements am I on? Oh my God.
Right.
But the idea is,
but how many pharmaceuticals are you on? 0.
None. No pharmaceuticals. But the idea is stay strong with what you have. How can you supplement? That's what supplements are, actually. They're not like a drug or a, these are naturally packed. I don't know. My spinach is all in one little pack right here. Plus, I eat spinach all day long in my smoothie. Anyway. Do good for your soul, your body, and your energy follows. Isn't that what you've learned? Because you might have gone into some old behaviors this year and found out you weren't happy around them.
Right.
So you had the time, the maybe bandwidth to change them. Except for the last 2 weeks. I have not slept, which is another reason,
right?
Green bottle, to put me to sleep. Anyone born in 1950, I'm born in 1956. And I've talked to a lot of people that are my age, 64 years old. This Jupiter is opposing our Uranus. The guys would laugh at that. Women don't laugh at that shit.
So I do sometimes.
No, it's mostly the guys.
You're right. It is mostly the guys. But let's not. You digress.
That that we're having the Jupiter opposing Uranus in our chart that brings up a lot of energy and frequency. Mm-hmm. And so it worked perfect for me, and I welcomed it, and I knew it in my chart, and I was like,
you utilized it.
I mean,
utilized
you were
it. Up. So you would go to bed at
1
least,
o'clock.
Yeah. In 11 p.m. to 1 o'clock. And then you would also wake up at like
4:30 in the morning. 3:30
you woke up.
4:30 this morning. Because I had things to do. It wasn't, well, and I couldn't sleep.
Well, and it's also the talisman work. Like this is such, we all know like, oh, it's the holiday season. So, there's, especially in retail, everyone knows like, all right, we need to prepare. We need to do all these things. This being the astrological season, it's big. This is an 800 year, let's say 400 year, technically, transit. This is big stuff that you're working with. So it's not necessarily about your daily routines right now. It is much more about utilizing, being that conduit that you are when you are putting that energy into your talismans. So let's move on into talisman times in saying that. So the finished talismans that you have, I'm going to put the links in here. Saturday and Sunday, you handmade lots of talismans, mainly to vision and create my new reality.
Those are all I made because they're the one bead that goes on either a necklace, a bracelet, or a charm, which is a setup for an interchangeable program we're about to announce, but it's the step into. So it's one bead. The talisman times I gave to my subscribers, which is the all clay beads that everybody knows me about. I offered that to, and every single one of my, well, not all my subscribers, but they took all of the talisman times that I had available that were at 1:30 in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, 3:27 in the morning, all day long. That's kind of one of their, pluses there. So yeah, the only thing
benefits,
I have available, what's that? One of their pluses.
One of the benefits that they have being
to be
a subscriber. So that's the finished talismans that you have. And moving on into the upcoming ones. So today you are going to create to accumulate many goods from many people.
I still am. This is at 2:14 on this afternoon, Monday. The moon sextile Jupiter and Saturn in the first decan of Aquarius. It's just another plus to get the first decan of Aquarius. Mm-hmm. To accumulate many goods from many people. Some of these treasures are of spiritual nature. Some of them are monetary gains, and I collect them all. Yet all of them are here for lasting success. I am humbled.
That's a really wonderful place to be in receivership. Because, especially if you're, in a business or you're providing some service and people are either paying you or giving their thanks or their praise and sharing with you, that's a wonderful place to be in. It just feels like, wow, I'm so blessed. Yeah. I'm so lucky to be in this position right now. And I appreciate you. I see you, because that's one thing that I really try to do with all of our clients and all of our customers is I see you. Thank you so much for your order. Because a lot of the time it's like, oh, I'm on the internet and I'm, clicking buy and no one cares. Right? Mm-hmm. Like Amazon. We have all been there. No one cares.
Which is why
we want to elevate that. We want a personal touch where people know, thank you. This is coming from the owner, the creator's daughter, the creator herself.
The boss.
Thank you. The bosses. Let's just say the bosses.
But not even that. If you buy a talisman bracelet, the big all clay talisman bracelet, you call for an activation. So you get a 20-minute phone call with me per bracelet to activate. I show you the chart.
Right.
I go into the energy so that you see it. I record it.
You're right. You've even added the recording to it, which is awesome.
And I've added the chart.
Right.
That's brand new. I did that. It was just like, I've got to show.
And it's
only because, here's why.
It's so valuable. That information is the reason why people purchase these talismans.
Well, that's so funny because I did an activation this week, and I hope you're listening. That she bought a talisman. We did the activation. She was so blown away by the intricacies of the this and the timing and the that and everything that I went on, and the fact that I'm going to spend time after she gave me her money. Like,
Right.
Who does that?
Yeah.
She's already got her goods.
Right.
Right? She said, as we were leaving, she said, "This is not the last time you'll see me." Within an hour, she purchased 2 more talismans on the website, and this one that I just read, she pre-bought. So this bracelet of to accumulate many goods from many people is already sold.
And that's the really cool thing about the pre-sale talismans. So if you go over to our website and you hover over talismans, you'll see pre-sale talismans. Also click any of the links here in the talisman time descriptions, and you'll see that there's no picture because the bracelet has not been made. The talisman has not been made yet. This is the time that you can give Sandy a little bit of guidance. Do you like this style versus that style?
Which means large bead or small bead.
Are you totally drawn to blues and you hate yellows? These are things that you can add, that you can just say, hey, by the way, let's stay away from the yellows. Not a big fan. Those are things that Sandy can utilize. And it actually is the quarter of a step towards a personal.
And you know the time. I give you the time. You can sit in personal sacred space because I'm making that talisman only for you.
Right.
You pre-purchase it. You've set up the goal. You have set your intention on the precipice of anticipating it.
Right.
Now, there aren't going to be any talismans on pre-sale this week because, to be honest with you, I couldn't. I might throw something up.
Your schedule has been demanding.
My reading schedule. We are on a waiting list now for subscribers for the readings. Mm-hmm. So if you just pop on to the website and you see a pre-sale talisman, great, good for you. Because I didn't have time to look forward to this week to see and to hone in, because it's not even like, oh, I want to make it, oh, this is a good energy on Tuesday, or this is great energy on Friday, I want to use this. But when I get into the chart, Mars could be in an angle. Moon can be in a place where it's applying
right,
to
but it's the
Mars.
time that you take to look into the chart
I didn't
to
have
see
time.
if there's any of those.
I didn't have
and so how much time do you work on, say, any given talisman, whether or not it turns actually into a talisman or you have to throw it away? How much time do you take on the chart?
Man, Alex, it's taken me years to understand talisman astro magic. However,
how long would you say? Like 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Oh God, no, more than that.
Okay.
Because I might print something, I might see something and go, oh my gosh, this is an decan, this is the fixed star, this is 2 planetary transits moving, this is Moon in the 1st house, this is Venus in exaltation in the 10th. Mm-hmm. And then I'll print it out and go, okay, this is, and I'll write it and I'll print it out, get the chart in front of me and go, like the next day when I have clear, fresh eyes, and go, oh my God, Saturn's in the 1st house? How did I miss it? Scrap, rip,
right.
Not happening.
Yeah.
So these that show up on the website have been distilled into the perfect ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's great.
Anyway, this was going to be a short.
Well, we're still on time. We're still on time because, quite honestly, let's move into the horizon. So we have an orbit of the week. It's called This is Exciting. We hope that you feel this energy, this like kind of like Uranus and Jupiter in Aquarius, Saturn in Aquarius. There's an uplifting. There's a community feel. There's a sense of individuality in it all. So that's why we picked this one, Orbit of the Week. Click the link or, of course, just search Orbit of the Week on our website. Then we also have the eclipse ring. So this was the eclipse from the Sagittarius one. This is a sterling silver moon phase ring. It's one of my favorites. It's beautifully designed. It's streamlined. I don't wear any rings that are not sterling silver. I hate the green ring that happens when you take it off. It looks cheap. It feels cheap, and I don't like that feeling. So this is a beautifully done ring I'm sharing with everyone. This is kind of like Alex's talisman on the website. So if you love me and you love what I do, just give me a little support there. And aside from that, we really only have some idea of plans on the horizon.
Oh, I love that.
Right? So we don't have any like specific dates. We have space. We have this open creative place that we're working with right now.
Can I talk about two of the thoughts?
Can I talk about one of them?
Are they the same two? Does that mean three?
I'm sure it's one of the ones you're going to talk about, which is we want to do a 7-day challenge. And this is going to be a manifestation challenge because what I feel, and we've discussed this a lot, Sandy and I, my mom and I, the whole reason why you have a talisman is really to do a daily ceremony, is really to bring your mind back to that centered space of agreeing to your next step, of agreeing to the dream that you want to create to be your new reality. So here we wanted to give a 7-day challenge to anyone who has a talisman themselves.
A talisman bracelet with all clay.
Where you, Mom, are going to be taking them through your process, what you do, and for 7 days in a row, really take them deep. Take them through meditation. Take them through selecting your talisman for the day, how to handle it, what to do with it, and going into like kind of like a master class of talisman use. And maybe a little bit more about like how you create them and your processes and how to really center in and find that clarity of your intention and your affirmation.
Yeah, I got very clear when we are not going on our Mexico annual January retreat this year, and as sad as that is, I miss the camaraderie we create with, our group of people. And it was like, well, can we do something? And it was like, oh my God, there's so many people, and I can say thousands, that have a talisman that I have made that is all clay, small bead or large bead. They're not the celestial bracelets. They're not the chakra bracelets. Let me just be clear about that. It's the ones that have an intention and an affirmation.
Right.
And I'm going to we're going to put the program together, but I visioned us all showing up at a certain time every single day for a week.
Yep.
And I want to start it on a Saturday. I don't know, because our retreat usually starts on Saturday and goes till Saturday. And to pull in that energy. You said you wanted this. There is 1 or 2 bracelets out there in the world, and you own it. Get it moving again.
Right. And even if it was a talisman that you've purchased years ago that you haven't touched, get it out.
Come on. In fact, do you need to send it in to get it recharged, restrung, reactivated so that you have it for this event? I had one, I mentioned it to one of my subscribers, and she said, well, Sandy, which one should I use? She has like 7. And I'm like, well, let's pick the one that you need the most.
Well, because you, of course, have many talismans as well.
Yeah. Which is the second thing I wanted to talk about.
Which is?
which I should probably do first. This is like a meeting right now.
Welcome to our meeting, everybody.
That I want to have you do a really beautiful video of me in my bedroom preparing for the day to get ready to stay in my COVID house. But I do always get ready in the same way, whether I was going out or staying in. Mm-hmm. Then I go over to my little, my altar or area where I have my multiple talismans, and I stand there and I spray some oils and I picture my day and ask one of these, two of these, or three of these talismans to speak to me. I need your help today. I need your support. How can I rely on one of these talismans to be prosperous, confident, and successful through what I have to do this day, right? And I want you to video that and how I do it and how then I hold it in my hand, repeat the ritual.
Right.
Be the gratitude, do the gratitude.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that will be so helpful for many people.
I want to do that.
Yeah. Because I'm also going to be stepping into my next intention bracelet. So I'm very excited that, and I'll tell you more about this in the coming weeks when we're getting really set on what it is that my intention and affirmation are. But yeah, I mean, I still love mine, and it's like my first one, and I've been wearing it for actually December 23rd is going to be my anniversary. I think it's my 4-year anniversary maybe. And of course I stalled, and I kept telling myself, and you, because you would even ask me, Alex, I'm your mother. I'm a talisman maker. Can I make you a talisman? Kind of like the cobbler's children have no shoes. Like, I guess I really took that to heart. And but when you asked me and you kept asking me, I was like, you know what? I've always said that I have no answer for you, but I'm tired of that answer myself. So I'm going to just say, yes, let's do it. And I'm going to figure out my answer. And I think that was a very empowering place for me to be in, because think of all the situations that you've been in where you're like, I'm not ready yet. I don't know the perfect scenario. I don't have the perfect credentials yet.
I don't look good enough. I'm fat in these pants.
I mean, there's so many reasons. And we're like, I'm just not ready yet. Stop it. Because no one else cares about the, majority.
And is that why you're not reaching?
Is that why? That's a good message, because once I just decided, hey, listen, I don't know what my affirmation or my intention is going to be, but I'm ready to start living with intention. I'm ready to set this and test it out. See how it goes for me and really experiment. And so I'm glad I did that. So I'm going to be working on my second one, because I've really loved working with mine, and mine is to live every day with love, excitement, and freedom.
And you must know that well enough, because you do the rituals every day and know that without looking at the card. It's not the goal, but I talked to somebody the other day and she went off in exactly order without the card. She knew exactly her intention and her affirmation.
And I mean, all the other, like the talisman wearers can message me, because I'm so curious about this. After a while, I really got to a point that when I put on the bracelet, it was like, ping. There was just this, it was rote. It was the ceremony that I kept doing, and then, repeating, and it was easier to channel back into that place. And so I think just with practice and us getting, back to that center, the easier we can do it, or the more often we can do it, the easier we can do it.
It's routine. Yep.
So,
and
yeah.
I want to get that back.
So
and I want to call it the challenge.
Look out for that 7-day intention challenge, as well as the, social media videos that we're going to be playing about, selecting your talisman of the day.
Because I don't believe in resolutions over here. Resolutions, really? Res. It's like a redo. No, what's new? Be in it, not resolve something. They never worked. I did them for many a year, but it's now like, nope. I'm going to set my sight on this. I'm not trying to undo that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is very retroactive.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't last till the end of January. It's like, whoop, back in my habit.
It's a reword anyway.
Yeah. So we're going to set intentions, but these are the intentions that you already hold. So if you don't have an intention bracelet and you want to join us, you're going to have to get an intention bracelet. Yeah. And if there's nothing that's specific, like Alex was just explaining, go for a general one. Everybody needs a general. There's some days I ask and say, oh, there's nothing specific that I need help with today. So I'm going to stay. My general one is, I am optimistic today. It's a general one. And I often wear that one because I'm like, I'm not doing any readings. I'm not doing any writings. I just want to stay happy. Right? So I go to my general. Everybody needs a general. And then those bam specifics like I have when I'm preparing for my Bali retreat. Boom, when I'm preparing for my other retreats. Boom, when I'm doing my writings that I need to pull in. When I'm doing my readings. Boom, I need that intention work. Or intuition work.
Yeah.
So
let's move on in and into our house.
We've already been there. We've been there. We never left.
We really It's true. Get yourself a glass of champagne and come and join us. I just mainly wanted to kind of give a shout out to one of our, I think, listeners, because if you recall, we discussed in one of the transits to hand make some of your presents for, do you remember the transit?
I don't know if it was a Venus, trine, Neptune. It was just a
Something
time where
like
it was
that,
like, use your creativity through your love and your connections and do something.
Right.
And hand make a gift. And you only saw one. You haven't seen the others that I've got in on my emails and in my text message.
Oh.
Yeah. People are doing, and they're proud of it, and they're sending pictures and sending it to me. And we got one that was mailed, and I think that's what you're talking about. That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. Go ahead.
So I want to give a shout out to Yolanda. Thank you so much for the handmade card. It really, truly is beautiful.
Oh my gosh,
beautifully done. I thought it was like a really well done Hallmark card, like that you buy.
Papyrus.
Like, they're not the papyrus ones, but like I was totally expecting to see a barcode on the back. And then when we flipped it over, it said handmade by Yolanda.
It makes me cry because the cutouts, the what do you call that? Like the 3D dimensions to this front of this card was so painstaking. I know. I'm a crafter. And I know. And then to send it away and not really see the response of the receiver. Part of the giving gifts is like, don't you hate it when you go and like, there, thank you, I'm going to open it later. That was on a Schitt's Creek episode I saw a little bit ago. It was like, the dad gives the daughter a gift and she's like, thank you, and takes it and puts it on the table. And he's like, well, I gave you a gift. You can open it now
I would love to see
later.
Your reaction to it. Yeah.
But that's what that kind of is like. You give something from your heart, your creativity of your heart, and you don't know how it's received, which means stay in the gift of giving. Now, she didn't know she was going to get called out here. And I don't even know if she's a listener.
Right.
Although, how would she have known that I was saying hand make your gifts? She was probably.
Or maybe she just did it anyway and sent it to us and said thank you.
She felt it.
Yes. So we'll keep that short. Of course, we love you all. We're going to, finish this bottle of champagne here. We toast to you. Thank you, each one of you listeners. There we go. That's 1 is good. 2 is fine.
And 3 is better.
And we just want to thank all of you listeners for, keeping us a part of this community and really, really stepping in and being here with us. So with that said, happy holidays, happy great conjunction. So that's a universal message right there. And, you know, happy winter solstice. We thank you. Share our podcast with the people that you love, that you think would totally benefit from some of this knowledge.
And hopefully we're not so pulling up the under dirt, where we're hopefully light and mother-daughter, so you're getting the 60-year-old aspect and the 30-year-old aspect, and it's kind of converging and knowing that these two generations and that all generations can get along.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm
And
a
we
firm
won't see
believer
you.
of that.
And you'll be in Mexico
I
when
will. When we talk next.
You'll be calling in from Juarez,
Yes.
and I'll be here, and we'll record and come to you from our different areas.
True.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you, everyone, for this year of allowing us into your space, your car, your home, your ears, your head, your heart.
yes.
Thank you very
We are
much.
very grateful.
Merry Christmas and
Merry
happy holidays.
Christmas, happy holidays, happy winter solstice, and happy great conjunction. Bye, everybody. We'll see you
Bye.
next week.
And the search ends here, where the night is totally clear, and your heart is fierce. And so you finally know you control